Hi guys, how are you? I'm very glad to be here. My name is Caio Santucci. If somebody don't know me, I have this YouTube channel and Instagram IG about comics. Today I'm interviewing a great comic book artist, one of the few women that worked with Batman. She made history working with that director. She brought back to the comics the best Catwoman look and her modern classic wedding dress. She made a housewife who is a hired killer. She's a lady killer. I'm obviously introducing Joëlle Jones. Joëlle, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. I'm very glad you're here. So, are you ready for start?
I'm ready.
Joëlle, what were your inspirations for the wedding dress? I read the marriage 1 year after the first publication in the United States, because here in Brazil the comic books come after 1 year. So I know I already know the end, but
Right.
it was beautiful to me see all the not wedding, right? Before the wedding, you worked on a lot of editions of Tom King's Batman. And in the edition, you had some pages too. I said it before, and it's a modern classic of the comic books. So, what were your
Yeah.
inspirations?
Yeah, I think it's so good too. I sort of agree with you. I mean, I guess for me it was spoiled beforehand too,
Yeah,
but the way it was written, the way Tom wrote it, I thought was so beautiful that I know a lot of people got upset they didn't get married, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was really lovely.
yeah,
Um, but I heard that they were planning a wedding event, and I sort of cornered Tom and I said, well, if they're gonna design a wedding dress, I want to design it. Um, just, I'm such a big Catwoman fan,
yeah,
and I didn't want to see her in a big floofy, flowery dress
yeah,
with big sleeves. And I didn't want to see anybody do that to Catwoman. So I was like, please let me do it. And so
yeah,
I turned in like maybe 5 or 6 different dresses, like ideas. And I sent it to Tom, and Tom's like, I don't know, it's a dress. So he showed it to his daughter, and thankfully she had the good taste and picked my favorite one. So
yeah, yeah. It's a great dress because we see it on the wedding edition and after in the Catwoman edition, after she out from Gotham because the wedding didn't work, and I think that the wedding was something that the fans were really looking forward
yeah,
to, and it didn't happen. So I think I understand the frustration, but I didn't think that would be possible to happen, because they both are two hard persons, right? So
yeah.
did you think for a moment that they would get married, or did you already hope they wouldn't?
I think, when I heard the idea that they were going to get married, I was worried that they would, because I thought, like you said, they're very unconventional, like they're kind of harder people
Yeah,
that eventually we might have to have a divorce,
yeah,
or, and I didn't want to see that happen. And I also think that, like, Catwoman and Batman, they don't follow the rules, they make their own, and they
yeah,
do something so traditional and not come up, like, not do their own thing, seemed a little out of character to me. So I was really happy with the way it worked out, of sort of highlighting each individual and how they would handle something like that, and making their own future look the
yeah,
way they want and not traditional. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was great when I read. I made I talked about on my channel, and I told that I liked, and very much people say to me, oh my God, this is bad because they don't marry. But I think that works better if they don't marry. Yeah, so I like too much the edition. And how is it for you, you know, because you, how can I say, you have been part of Batman histories, right? So how is this for you? Because there were very few women who have worked with the character, and you were present in the most important phase of the last few years on the most important run, that is the Tonkin. I think that it's the most important.
Oh,
So
it's beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, it is. So how was that for you?
You know, I think in the moment, I think a lot of people that work in comics don't know that it's going to be a big
Yeah.
deal. It's so fast paced and you have to get out the book. And so it was like, I already knew that I was going to be doing like what issues I'll be doing after. And I was just finishing up doing issues before. And they're like, okay, now Batman. I'm like, okay, I'll do it really fast.
Yeah.
And then as it came out, people were like, oh, it's really important. And there haven't been a lot of women. And I didn't know any of that. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, I'm glad I didn't know, because sometimes I get too stressed out or worried or in my own head. And if I think it's really important, I'll spend too much time or I mess it up in the last minute.
Yeah.
So just like going with the flow, and just, I know I was getting Tom's scripts as they came in. And I think just as a fan, I really enjoyed them. And,
Yeah.
and so I just kind of try to turn off all the noise, because Batman's so important to DC and the comic book world. I just try to sort of turn all that off and just try to enjoy it as a fan and draw it how I saw it. So, you know, I hope it came across okay.
Yeah. And you as a fan, what are the run that you most like for Catwoman? Because mine is Edward Baker, obviously.
Yes, that's my absolute favorite. I love the Ed Brubaker run, and with Darwin Cook, and it's just so like noir, like thriller. It's and who is the villain in that? It's the Red Mask. Is that his name?
Yeah, I think I don't remember too.
He's so good. He's so scary in it. I just
Yeah.
remember like eating eyeballs, and like, it was so creepy. I love it. Yeah, I love that whole run.
I love too, because I love every visual identity. Yeah, I love the suit of Catwoman, because he
Yeah.
has that glasses, and I like too much.
So
you know?
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And as soon as the marriage ended, you worked on the Catwoman series, right? And there we could see that villain, the governor's wife. I don't remember her name. I don't know.
Oh,
Heina.
Raina.
Yes, yes. I didn't remember. So I think that she has a very strong visual identity too, because she's a normal woman, but she's, I don't know, scary. She's very mysterious. And how difficult is that? I mean, how can you make a woman look normal and intimidating with just drawings? It's not just drawings, right? But it's very hard, I imagine.
You know, it was really fun for me. I think I tend to like drawing scary things, ugly people. I think, you know, you work in comics, you draw beautiful people all day long,
Yeah.
like all the strong Superman jaw, and like, you know, beautiful women. And it's really fun to take a break and just draw somebody really ugly.
Yeah.
And it can be really fun.
Yes, I imagine, because I don't know, I don't think she's ugly, because she looks beautiful, but she's not, I don't know, she's strange, right? She's scary, and she's not ugly. I think she's more intimidating. I don't know. I appreciate so much. And in the same comic, in the first issue of Catwoman, after the wedding, you made a cover where she holds the wedding issue, and oh, I thought it was genius, and I thought it was really cool. It reminds me more or less the what John Byrne did with She-Hulk, you know? Did
Hmm.
you have that inspiration or not?
No, you know what? I never read She-Hulk until just maybe the start of the pandemic. I started
Oh
going
my
back,
God.
and so I was totally unfamiliar. I'd never read any of it, and I can't believe I slept on such a good character. Like
I can't
I
believe
love her.
too.
Yeah.
Would you like to work with She-Hulk someday?
Oh yes, yeah. She would be so much fun to draw.
Yeah.
Just like taking up all that space and just so different from all the other female characters that, I have to
Yeah.
draw a lot. Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, I like her. I like. I was talking about John Byrne because he made this. He talked with the readers, right? So I think it's very cool because in some time on the comic book he out, and I think in is in the edition 8 he out, and he back on 33, and he keep going from the 8 because he didn't he didn't care about the chronology.
Mm.
So I like so much, you know. I think
Yeah,
she's,
it's sort of like circular. Yeah.
yeah, I like too much. I would like to watch the TV series that will, I think it's in this
Oh
year,
yeah.
right?
That's what I heard. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
have they cast it or anything? Do you know if anybody's
No, I don't. But you don't work with much characters of Marvel, right? I think that
Yeah.
I read and Scarlet Witch edition that
Yeah.
you made, but you made something else because I didn't read anything.
I think I did a Spider Woman,
Oh,
but
nice.
I've been exclusive with DC for
Yeah,
quite a few years now. So, I mean, I'm a huge Marvel fan and I still read a lot of Marvel.
yeah.
But I'm not allowed to go and work for Marvel right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. No, yeah, I think that I'm saying this because I'm very fan of your art, and and you say that you would like to work with Shilong someday. So it would be a very great experience to read this. So I think that would be nice. You made Lady Killer was published some years ago in Brazil, and it's the history of a housewife who kills for money. This is very, very, very cool. Where did this idea come from? I like too much this, and it's in 60s, right? She's on
Mhm.
60s, and I like too much. Where this idea come from?
Do you know, I have no idea. I think it just my broken head. it was
Yeah,
it was just like I kept getting jobs that I wasn't really enjoying, and I like a little bit more like blood and violence and it to be dynamic. And I just really, I also love history so much and studying advertising and like the classic illustrators. And I really just wanted to get that out of my system.
yeah.
Um, so I did it just kind of to entertain myself. And I was very surprised that people liked it.
Yeah, no. The here in Brazil, this was published in 2019, I think, and the
Hmm.
people liked too much. You know, we have, I don't know if in the United States you have this, but every year, every end of year, the people make an better of the year, and Lady Killer wasn't very much lists. You know, so
Oh, that's great.
yeah,
That
that's
makes me
cool.
feel good that people like it.
Yeah,
I thought I was the only one.
no. I think that the idea is so good. I didn't read it yet, so I think that I will take some time because I think that it's there's no more in Amazon. I think that it's sold out, but
Oh,
as soon as possible, I will take. And do you intend to do more authorship work?
yeah. I actually just wrote the third series. And so as soon as I'm done with the books I'm working on for DC, I'm going to take a little break and then go back and draw all the Lady Killer.
Nice.
It's going to be a little different, but I think hopefully people will like it. It's still pretty gross, so it should be good.
Yeah. And for Lady Killer, what were your principal inspirations? Because of the 60s, you know, because and of Blood too, because it looks like an 60s series, right? It's very cool.
Mhm. It started out with very like I used to collect. I used to go to like antique stores and try to find old advertisements that were very sexist, and I thought they were really, really funny.
Yeah.
And I started this huge collection. I started putting them on my walls, and then I started collecting specific artists that I liked that were in advertising. And, you know, then a lot of like Norman Rockwell and stuff like that. And it's so like Coca-Cola ads, and they're so sickly sweet and fake of like what people really think in their heads.
Yeah.
And it just sort of made me laugh to act out maybe something completely different inside,
Yeah.
like Norman Rockwell sort of look. And then I love drawing 60s clothes, so it had to be in the 60s.
Yeah, that's great. But you told about collection specific artists. So tell us, what are your principal inspirations and your favorite artists? That's a very interesting thing, because I asked to Klaus Jensen, and he had the old ones and the new ones. So you can talk about every artist that you like. That it's very interesting to hear it.
It's always hard to pin it down. I mean, it changes every day, and I feel like I'm never up to date on. I'm always behind what's happening in comics, and like my read pile is so big, so I'm always late to find somebody new and exciting, like way past when everybody else has already seen it.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm a very big like the furthest back, maybe like Toulouse-Lautrec, I really love. Also like Leyendecker and Rockwell and Pete Hawley and a lot of really old advertising illustrative guys. And then I think, you know, I really love Jim Steranko, like a lot. Chris Biccialo was always a really big influence.
Klaus Jensen said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So, Joëlle, I think that the questions ended. So I think that's it. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I'm pretty nervous, and I don't know what happened to me today.
No,
Generally,
you're great to talk to. There's no need to be nervous.
thank you. I generally I'm here and I'm nervous, but when the invited enter on the meeting, I over my nerves, and today didn't happen. So I don't know what's happened to my brain today. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. If somebody don't know you, can you say your social media to people who know you? If you making commissions, where the people can find you?
I mean, I'm not very good at social media, but you can find me on Instagram. It's just my name, Joëlle Jones. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm not, I've got a few projects coming up. I think we're doing the big Wonder Woman crossover extravaganza, which will come out next month. So
nice. Very nice. Thank you so much, Joëlle. Guys, if somebody would like to meet her, to know her, go in their social medias. And is that, thank you so much, Joëlle. Thanks so much, everybody that
Thank you
watched.
so much.
And see you. Thank you.